Welcome into Bills Tonight Digital, presented by ECMC. Maddy Glab here with the former Bill, Fred Jackson, and the Bills lose this one 24-17 against the Ravens. They fall to 9-4 on the season. Fred, there were a lot of opportunities in this game for the Bills to score and to, I would say, take the lead on the Ravens, but they fall short in this one. What did it come down to in your eyes?
Yeah, I think when you look at it, you have to give credit to the defense. Defense showed up today, played really hard. They just didn't make enough plays on offense. I think you saw Josh was under constant pressure today. He got hit a lot of times. He didn't make some of the passes that you would like to see him make. But I think at the end of the day, when you have chances to make plays and beat a team like the Ravens, you're going to have to make those plays.
Yeah, the defense held the Ravens to 257 total yards. The Ravens averaged 420.8 yards per game, so a great game by the defense. But when it came to the offense, there were some drop balls. Josh Allen got sacked 6 times, so it was a tough outing for the offense today against a talented Ravens defense.
Yeah, and you knew it was going to be like that. Coming in, the Ravens were one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in the league. So you knew you had to make those plays when they presented themselves. And there was just passes that were overthrown. There were passes that were dropped when they hit you in the hands. And when you're playing a good team like that, you can't shoot yourself in the foot, with penalties and things like that as well. So it's going to be a good learning experience for them. For them to go where they want to, they have to be able to beat a team like this, and they can go in and study a lot of film and figure out a lot of things that they can improve on.
Well, Coach McDermott is on the podium. Let's hear what he had to say after today's game.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started here. Thought it was a good game. Obviously, we didn't get the result we were looking for. Great atmosphere. Hard-fought game, both sides. That's a good football team. Give them credit. We've got to learn from some things that happened today to ultimately make us a better and stronger football team moving forward. And with that, we'll open up to your questions.
What are those things you think you need to learn from, Sean?
Well, we've got to get off to a better start, I thought. Better start offensively, into a better rhythm, establish the line of scrimmage. And then special teams wise, we got to, at times I thought Corey punted well, and there's times where I think he wants some of those punts back as well, just field position wise. We felt like because we didn't get into a good rhythm offensively early, field position was not in our favor early. We had some short drives early. I thought our defense did a good job overall. It's a good offense, obviously. They made some plays, give them the credit. But obviously, we've got to look at the tape and continue to learn and grow.
There are 4 scoring drives, Coach, happen on short fields. How big a factor was that?
Yeah, that was big. That was big. Just like, this is, like I said, it's a good football team. But when you have favorable field position, we have to do something with favorable field position. I thought we had a chance after the turnover there when we got the takeaway, and then they had some favorable field position in the first half in particular, and then some in the second half. I think it was in the fourth quarter also. They got the score there. So again, give them credit.
What's their defense? It's tough seeing them in person versus seeing them on film.
It's a good defense, It's a veteran defense. They've got Marcus Peters, who they traded for, Earl Thomas. They got good players on that defense. They're ranked where they are for a reason. I don't think they surprised us at all. When you turn the tape on, they've played some good football, a lot of good football. And at the end of the day, we did not execute. Our fundamentals, throwing, catching, were not where they needed to be offensively.
What about the spark that Devin kind of gave? Your offense was kind of stuck in neutral there, but then second quarter he kind of gives you a nice spark.
Devin, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought we did some good things. We gave ourselves a chance to go tie the game or go win the game, towards the end of the game there. And again, I thought it was a hard-fought game, and we have to learn from it and continue to grow.
Sean, how do you evaluate Josh today?
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I thought there was some plays he wanted to have back, particularly early there, some throws. There's some times we could have helped him out too. Josh is a young player. We had a couple young players out there make some mistakes, drop some balls. Josh had a couple overthrows. That's all things we have to learn from. This experience will help our football team moving forward.
Execution on defense that looked pretty sharp, for the most part. This is a team that averages 200 running passing. I mean, you held them to half of that
Yeah, I think they
today.
had 90-some yards in the first half, maybe, and then they came up with a big play that was, we busted. We had a lack of execution there, but overall, I thought our defense did a phenomenal job.
Sean, it's 24-7, or 17. You got a chance to tie it at the end. Are there any moral victories in this game?
No, I appreciate where you're coming from on that. But listen, where we are as an organization, the way we've built this thing and the progress we've made, our mindset is to go win the football game and to win every game, and we respect every opponent. But, maybe the first year, possibly, but where we are now and the mindset of our organization is we expect to win. Especially we expect to win these games late in the year, and great environment out there. It's been a long time since that type of environment's been around here, and I'm happy for the fans, but I'm also disappointed that we lost the football game. There's no moral victories, but we have to learn from it and continue to grow as a football team and as an organization.
I don't have to tell you they're a heavy blitz team, but what did you see? What kind of effectiveness did you see when they're sending extra people? It just seemed like it sped up the clock on your offense execution as a whole.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it does. They created a number of negative plays today, and that's what they try and do. And, so give them credit again. They executed better than we did.
Sean, you've alluded to it in Chris's question. You just didn't seem to find that offensive rhythm that we'd seen in the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Really, is it a line of scrimmage thing? Is that where it starts, or is it basic execution?
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, I know you guys, it's one of those things as a coach. I need to look at the film before I really pinpoint, and I'll try and give you a better answer on tomorrow on Monday. In fairness to your question, so it takes 11 guys executing one play at a time offensively to execute it at the right level. Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
That was Coach McDermott. He was being asked if there was any moral victories in this loss, and he said no. And he's completely right. This team is too talented to count this as a moral victory.
Yeah, and like he said, coming from where they are now and what they've established, in his short time being here, they're trying to win every game. They don't want moral victories. They want to get actual W's on the board, and they weren't able to get that today. So they're a disappointed team. They felt like they went toe-to-toe with a team that they could have beat, had an opportunity to beat at the end of the game, and they didn't get it done.
Over the last 3 games, Josh Allen has had a passer rating of 111.4 today. His passer rating was 62.6, so quite different in this game. Could you pinpoint it to the line of scrimmage battle with the offensive line never really settling in, just because that Ravens defensive line and really the front 7 blitz 48% of the time when they drop back?
Yeah, it's when you look at, from what I saw watching the film, they were bringing more guys than they were able to pick up, and it created a lot of pressure, and they were bringing different guys. They were showing different looks and bringing guys from the opposite direction, and that was something that as an offensive unit you have to recognize that, and they were a bit behind the 8 ball today. They didn't get it recognized as soon as they would like to, and it put Josh under a lot of constant pressure and it made him overthrow some passes. He was under constant pressure, not able to set his feet and be as accurate as he would like to be. That's what they do. They're a high-pressure team, and it's the reason they do that is you let a guy like Josh sit back there in the pocket, he's going to pick you apart. And they wanted to make him uncomfortable, make him uneasy, and miss some of those passes.
Well, Josh Allen is on the podium. Let's hear what he had to say after the game.
How's it going, everybody?
Talk about the difference first 3 quarters versus the last quarter.
Especially the first quarter, I got to find some more completions early on, take what they give us. Maybe feel like I was pressing a little bit, and they were bringing some good pressures that we maybe hadn't seen, or they brought it, and they played a good game plan, and they played a great game. That's a great team that we just faced. At the end of the day, we didn't make enough plays. Like I said, I got to be better in that aspect, and our defense played fantastic. I want to shout them out and let them know, we're gonna have their backs. We're gonna have games like this. We're gonna have to find ways to win, and our defense played spectacular today.
Josh, you just mentioned some of the pressures and maybe some of that you missed some open guys. What was the biggest factor in preventing you as an offense from finding that rhythm that we've seen in the past?
Like I said, I got to do a better job finding completions early on. When they do show some of these pressures, finding the right answer, and you hit one or two of those, and maybe it deters them from bringing it again. So they had some success with it, and it's something that I'm going to learn from. We'll look on tape and see what we can do to try to counteract that. And like I said, we lost by 7 points to a really good team. We're not going to let one game define us and one game make us. We're looking for number 10. We got a really good Pittsburgh team we're playing next week.
What about you guys were kind of stuck in neutral there early, but then Devin kind of gave you a spark, just the spark that he gave you here offensively in the game?
Yeah, made some plays for us, made some good runs, made some guys miss. Our guys up front did a good job of opening some lanes for him. He's a real threat for us, and we got to continue to get him the ball, and I got to do a better job of that.
Was the defense as punching in person as you saw on film?
It's a really good defense we played, for sure. They had some smart, savvy dudes that know how to play different positions, and they can bring it from all over. And they got some old veterans in the back end too that can play some good coverage. So, like I said, it's one game. We'll look at the film, we'll learn from it, and focus on Pittsburgh.
Josh, I know it's only a second-year guy. It's a little bit different, but what did you say to Dawson after the middle of the field and then back?
I really didn't have to say anything. At that point in moment, what can you really say? He's a tough guy. He's mentally tough, physically tough, and he came back and made a huge play for us in the fourth quarter. So, never losing any faith in my guys, no matter the outcome or result. I trust them implicitly, and I'm going to continue to trust them implicitly. And like I said, I got to find ways to complete the ball a little better today, and just make some easier throws and allow us to kind of keep the sticks moving. And I didn't do a good enough job of that today.
Sir, if you answered this already, but the blitz today, how difficult was it recognizing and then handling?
It wasn't too different recognizing it. Like I said, I got to be able to find better answers and get the ball to our guys that are open and let them make some plays, because again, you make them pay on a couple of those blitzes and they probably don't bring it again, but they had some success, so they went back to it. And like I said, it's one thing that we're going to learn from. We'll look it on film, and you never know what happens down the road if we see these guys again or not. So we're going to learn from this, and I'm sure defense is going to watch this film and try to kind of do the same thing. So we got to be prepared, find a good game plan going into next week, and try to go get number 10.
You had the 3 overthrows early in the game on some deep balls. It looked like they were there. Were you struggling just trying to find the range?
Yeah, just trying to find the range. Obviously, it's windy in the stadium, and we know that. And but I got to be able to, like I said, do a better job finding completions, whether it's down the field or short and underneath. So, we got to be better all around in that aspect.
Josh, you've been one of the top scramblers in the league the past couple of years. I believe only maybe 2 or 3 attempts today. What was it about Baltimore's defense that, I guess, kept you in that pocket and kept you from taking off?
They did a good job. That's a really good defense we just played. It's a really good team. They exploited some of us and what they tried to do to me. And like I said, I got to continue to find answers and make in-game adjustments and be better. So, like I said, we're turning our focus to Pittsburgh now, but there's a lot of good stuff to learn from in this tape.
Did you expect to throw the ball 35, 36 times in a game like this?
Whatever the game calls upon, I'm willing and ready to do. If we got to run for 100 times, we got to throw 100 times. That's what we'll do.
Josh, this is the second time here at home you guys have come close, but didn't actually get to the finish line.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not let that stick in your craw as you
there's been some games that we've been down in the fourth quarter and we've been able to make these types of drives and win these types of games. So that doesn't bother us. Obviously, it hurts losing at home. We never want to do that. We want to defend our dirt. But they came in. They played a really good game. Credit to them. Again, credit to our defense. We got to be better for them, and we will. Thank you, guys.
Josh Allen was asked about what his team could have done better in that game, and he pointed to the first quarter as a place where they could have strung some more plays together. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things he said is with all the pressures that they were bringing them, if they would have taken advantage of some of that pressure and hit some plays against that, it would have taken them out of that later in the game. And I think that's one of the things you, as an offensive unit, you think about going forward. When teams like to pressure us, we got to get them out of that early by hitting some big plays against them.
Yeah, Baltimore is so great in the first quarter. This is a huge reason why they outscore opponents by so much, is because in the first quarter they are plus 75 in point differential. So the fact that this Bills team held them 3-0 in the first quarter, you would have loved to see a touchdown or a field goal from the Bills in the first quarter there, but to be able to hold them to just 3 points is pretty big. And like you said, when Josh Allen is being blitzed like the way he was, there's got to be an open part in the field that you can go to because you're sending an extra person.
Yeah, and you have to recognize it, and that's one of the things that he will continue to get better at as a young quarterback. You know, recognizing where pressure is coming from and knowing where his easier outlet is going to be. You know, nothing's easy in the NFL, but there's going to be a place you can get the ball when they're bringing pressure like that. And the more times you see it, the more times you play against these teams like this, you get better at it as a team, as a quarterback. And that's some of the reasons that, you know, the Drew Breeses or Aaron Rodgers don't get blitzed as much, because they can recognize it and get the ball out fast and take advantage of the defense being short in certain areas.
Let's take a look back at this game, see what highlights we had from this 24-17 game. 9-3 Bills hosting the 10-2 Ravens, and the Ravens leading 3-0 in the first. Judon sacks Josh Allen, forces a fumble, and the Ravens recover at the Bills' 24. Then on 3rd and goal, Lamar Jackson flips it to Nick Boyle for the touchdown. Ravens lead 10-0 early in the second quarter, and then it's Lamar Jackson over the middle for Willie Snead. It's knocked away by Micah Hyde and picked off by Tremaine Edmonds. And then here we go. Now we see the tight end getting involved. Hayden Hurst for 61 yards and the touchdown to make it 17-6 Baltimore. Fourth quarter, Lamar Jackson finds Willie Snead for the 4-yard touchdown. And then the Bills would get involved. Josh Allen to Cole Beasley for the 3-yard touchdown. And then they go for the 2-point conversion. The Bills pull within 7, but then this was the play that would define the rest of the game. Unfortunately, it would be a 24-17 loss. Now you're looking at the box score. Josh Allen completing 43.6% of his passes. Devin Singletary, 89 yards. Dawson Knox, 37 receiving yards. Jordan Poyer leading on the defense, 10 tackles, 1 pass defended. And we saw quite a day from Devin Singletary once he got involved in things. There were a couple plays where he didn't get too many yards, and we were talking throughout the game about why this was. And you said a lot of this is because he's still a young running back and he's still learning either how to go up in one-on-one coverage and things like that, or how to help block for Josh Allen.
Yeah, and it's just all, again, the more times you have an opportunity to be in those situations, and some of the pass protection things that I noticed from Devin Singletary is when they're bringing those pressures, he's in the right place. He's getting over to pick up the right guy. He's just setting too far back, and he's in Josh's lap when Josh is getting ready to throw. So he's got to go meet that defender, create that space and allow Josh to feel more comfortable. And there's, 2 or 3 plays I saw during the game that if he does that, it gives Josh a little more time, and he might be able to make some better throws. Even the long pass down the sideline, I felt like if he just kept running, he would have been able to get both hands on the ball and have a better chance to make the reception and give those guys a big spark in that moment.
Defensively, the game plan that Leslie Frazier and Sean McDermott dialed up, did anything stick out to you as being different? I know over the last 3 games we've seen a lot more blitzing from this defense, some exotic looks, which turned into 15 sacks the last 3 games.
Yeah, I don't really think they changed a lot. I think they were, well prepared for this team, coming in. When you hold a team that's producing as much, yardage as they are, you hold them to half that. I think this team was, well prepared, had a great scheme. They were in every one of their run fits, being where they needed to be in the play. And they gave them a great opportunity to win the game. A few more plays made on offense, and obviously this is a different outcome. But if that defense continues to play like that, especially against an offense that was as dynamic as this Baltimore offense, you're going to have a chance to win every game you play in this year. And when the offense matches that, they'll be a completely dangerous team, hopefully going into the playoffs.
Matt Milano, he was in the locker room after the game. Let's hear what he had to say about going up against the #1 offense in the NFL.
We were just out there playing fast, not thinking about anything. I think a lot of teams get kind of hesitant once they're playing him and kind of take a step back and let them worked them physically and also with their speed, and we kind of tried to take that away.
It seemed like that was big boy football, if you will, out there today. Like, how physical was that football game?
Yeah, it was fast and physical as well, so, yeah.
And then as far as Lamar is concerned, you know, when you guys are in a position where you kind of have to make a play, was it more about just attacking and making sure that you just had to go after him instead of making him make a play on you?
Yeah, exactly. If we had an assignment job to get the quarterback, got to get the quarterback. I had one play, got broke down a little bit, but yeah, exactly. Assignment football.
How do you make
assignments? How difficult is it to actually get after him based on his speed and elusiveness?
I mean, yeah, you've seen him throughout the whole year. He's elusive, and we just gotta. I mean, we're fast as well, but you just gotta make the play when you're in the position.
Matt, did you play against him at BC?
Yeah.
How did he compare? To
Same thing.
last time?
Same thing. Fast, throwing the ball everywhere, running around.
Did that help when? I mean, they say so much faster in person than he is on film, but did that past experience kind of help temper expectation?
Yeah, I mean, not really. We just gotta go out there and play. It's an NFL game, you know.
How do you make sure this loss doesn't cost you 2 weeks basically and you get back to work?
Yeah, just keep building. Put it behind us. Correct the tape tomorrow. Come in, get that watched, and then probably face them again later in the season.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So next up for the Bills is a game against the Steelers, prime time. Of course, going back to the drawing board, they'll watch film tonight probably and tomorrow to see what they can correct. So Fred, from what you watched in this game, what are some things that stick out immediately to what you got to get better at?
I think the only thing that I would say from this team is, from an offensive standpoint, is, obviously take care of the pressure that's coming. There's going to be teams. This is a copycat league. In Pittsburgh, we'll probably be trying to do the same thing. So I'll say shore up the pressure, and when you have an opportunity to make plays, make plays. When you get those close calls, let's try and get a few of those plays made, and I think it makes a difference in the game.
Yeah, the Ravens have Marcus Peters and Earl Thomas. Well, next week they're going to see Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, and another good defense. Another two great players that like to get after the quarterback. So it'll be another interesting challenge for them, and again, another opportunity to show that they can compete with anybody in this league.
Hey, for more highlights, for more post-game sound, for more of an analysis, make sure you head to MSG at 11:30 for Bills tonight. For Fred Jackson, I'm Maddy Glab. Thanks for joining us. We will see you next time.